film noir one of my areas of expertise, at least more so than most people my age. I love the style. I love the idea of the anti-hero and the general downer mood to these movies as opposed to flashy action films. The Coen brothers like film noir too, and they've shown that in many of their titles, the most popular one being The Big Lebowski, which is based off a much older movie and book, The Big Sleep. Lesser known than The Big Lebowski is a period piece called Miller's Crossing, starring Gabriel Byrne, Albert Finney, John Polito, Marcia Gay Harden, and John Turturro. In the movie, Albert Finney and John Polito play rival gang bosses, Leo and Johnny Casper, respectively, in an anonymous city in the 20s, and the protagonist, Tom, played by Byrne, exploits both sides during their confrontation. Also in the mix are Harden, who plays Verna, and Turturro, who plays her brother Bernie. Bernie is a corrupt bookie exploiting bets made by Casper on fights. Casper wants to bump him off, but Leo won't allow it because he's in love with Verna. Verna, meanwhile, is going behind Leo's back to sleep with his right-hand man, Tom, who has to try to make Leo see reason that Bernie isn't worth going to war over. Confused yet? Well, it gets a lot worse before it gets better. The film was a box office flop at the time when it came out, but I don't blame people for missing out on this one. It came out in 1990, the same year as Goodfellas and The Godfather Part 3, so I can imagine people were weary of gangster film for a while. It also isn't as out there or stylized as some of the other Coen brothers movies, so it's a little off-putting to the stoners coming in expecting The Big Lebowski or Burn After Reading or Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? If you do get a chance to see the movie, what you'll find are great performances by Polito and Finney as the rival bosses Johnny Casper and Leo. Finney really stands out because when it comes to business, he never loses composure and he seems invincible, but when he begins to talk about Verna, his personality does a complete 180 and he becomes meek and unsure of himself. You can really see how vulnerable he actually is. It shocks you a little bit, because several minutes later we find him foiling an assassination attempt and walking down the middle of a street spraying machine gun fire after his would-be killers. Polito's Johnny Casper may be my favorite character in the whole film. Polito has been seen in other Coen brothers movies, but mostly in limited roles. Here he really steps up as the main antagonist that rambles on and on about business ethics and his underworld dealings. I love this guy. He seems so sure of himself when he speaks, but then flies off the handle at the slightest contention against him. Huge inferiority complex here. Watching him explode on screen is definitely one of the highlights of the movie.
You haven't bought any license to kill bookies, and today I ain't selling any. So take your flunky and dangle.
You think that I'm some guinea fresh off the boat and you can kick me? But I'm too big for that now. I'm sick of taking a strap from you, Leo. I'm sick of marching into this goddamn office to kiss your Irish ass. And I'm sick of the high hat.
Casper's right-hand man is Eddie Dane, played by J.E. Freeman. He's a minor character, but his presence is felt throughout the movie. He is so damn sinister. It makes you fear darkened rooms and alleyways. He is the most direct enemy of the main character, Tom, as he rightfully doesn't trust him and is always looking for ways to see through his lies. The Dane steals every scene he's in, even though he's frequently in the background. Intimidating is an understatement when it comes to describing the Dane.
You Leo's?
Yeah. He wanted her looked out for.
Well, you did a bang-up job. I'll be sure to tell him. Where's Leo?
If I tell you, how do I know you won't kill me?
Because if you told me and I killed you and you were lying, I wouldn't get to kill you then. Where's Leo?
The Coens' direction and camera moves are wonderful here, while the sets and lighting make sure you get that noir feel when watching it. The score is also one of the best I've ever heard, written by frequent Coen collaborator Carter Burwell. While most of the movie is serious drama, the brothers don't let that stop their natural silliness from coming through and shining. Sometimes this makes for a weird, uneven feeling in the movie, but most of the time it is done well. As Tom weaves his way through lies and danger, he finds himself faced with having to execute Bernie. This is my favorite scene in the whole movie, and it just strikes your pity and heartstrings. You feel that John Turturro is right in front of you, pleading for his life. Very powerful stuff. What will win out in the end? The fedora-capped gangster that knows this is the right thing to do, or the sensitive, feeling heart that is near death itself from lack of use? This is the primary conflict in the movie between the two worlds that Tom inhabits. Is he a good guy or just some thug? Selfish, or does he have a heart of gold? Does he love Verna, or is he just looking out for what's best for him? Byrne pulls this off well, having this veneer of self-assuredness that fits perfectly with the character's honor among thieves attitude. Miller's Crossing is a great modern noir film that, while confusing at times, could serve as a good introduction to film noir for new viewers. There's a lot of dialogue, but the action scenes are pretty good, and there's some jokes thrown in to make sure that it's not just an overly dramatic film about a bunch of people talking with one another. I love this movie. I give it 4 out of 4 stars.